Okay, we are streaming live via YouTube. Again, good morning. My name is Judge Tamika West Bernard, and I'm presiding over the first appearance today. If each individual will raise their right hand so I can swear each of the inmates in, and the inmates are appearing via Zoom Clayton County Jail. Do you swear and affirm that the information and testimony that you give to the court will be the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Okay, thank you. I will make some opening remarks regarding your rights. And then after concluding my opening remarks, then I will proceed with the first appearance hearing for each of the individuals that are listed on the calendar for today. Okay, thank you, deputies. They can have a seat. This is your first appearance hearing before Magistrate Court of Clayton County. We are not here to try your case or to take a plea. You are here for the court to inform you of the charges against you, advise you of certain rights, set bail on those offenses for which the court is authorized to set bail, to schedule a preliminary hearing, and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney. You have the right to remain silent and say nothing, but should you choose to give up this right, anything you say during these proceedings may be used against you if your case goes to trial. Doing this and all other proceedings, you have the right to the presumption of innocence until the state proves your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to indictment by a grand jury for most felonies or accusations for misdemeanors. You have the right to a speedy and public trial by jury. You have the right to see, hear, and cross-examine all witnesses who are called to testify against you. You have the right to compel the attendance of witnesses in your own behalf by subpoena. You also have the right to testify and offer other evidence in your own defense should you choose to do so. But should you choose not to do so, no presumption of your guilt may be raised. You have the right to have an attorney represent you during these proceedings and all other court proceedings. Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds for your release from jail pending prosecution of your case, which may be by cash, commercial, or property. If you post a cash bond, someone will deliver the full amount of the bond in cash together with any applicable fees to the sheriff's office, who will hold it until your final court date, at which time the cash bond will be returned to the person who posted it. If you use a commercial bonding company approved by the sheriff, someone will have to pay the company up to 15% of the total bond as their fee for their service, and this fee will not be returned. Someone may post a bond using their property if they have net equity in their property in the amount equal to 3 times the total amount of the bond. Some of you will have special conditions on your bond that prohibit you from contacting certain people or going to or around certain places. This special condition will be provided on your bond order. You will also be prohibited from calling or having other contact with the alleged victim upon your release, including while you're in jail. Should you violate the court's order, your bond will be revoked and you will not be entitled to another bond while awaiting trial. An additional charge of aggravated stalking, influence of witnesses, or other charges as the law may provide could be brought against you, for which you could be sentenced up to 10 years in prison and fined up to $20,000. For family members who will assist you in posting bond, they will be provided with your bond information after we have concluded the first appearance calendar for this morning. If a family member is an alleged victim on the warrant and there's a special condition that you're to have no contact with that family member, he or she will not be allowed to post bond. Some of you will be charged with offenses for which this court is simply not authorized by law to set bail. In this event, a bond hearing will be scheduled before a superior court judge, and you will be informed of that date during your first appearance. If you're currently on active probation, this court is not authorized to set bond. Your bond can be reconsidered after your probation officer has had an opportunity to determine if they wish to file a warrant for violation of your probation, usually during your preliminary hearing. The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine if there is enough evidence or probable cause to justify keeping you detained in jail until such time as your case goes to trial. For those of you charged with misdemeanors only, you will have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Waiving your preliminary hearing will not affect your right to post bond, your right to have an attorney represent you, or if you qualify for a court-appointed attorney, or your right to have a jury trial. If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived, and you'll be mailed a notice when to appear in state court for arraignment. If you cannot make bond, you may waive your preliminary hearing and be taken before a state court judge, at which time, if you plead guilty, you will be sentenced. If you plead not guilty, a trial will be scheduled on your behalf. If you choose to have a misdemeanor preliminary hearing, your hearing will be scheduled for January the 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. For those of you charged with felony offenses, you will not have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Your preliminary hearing will be scheduled for January the 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. That will conclude my opening remarks. At this time, deputies, I will proceed forward with the female inmates. Okay, please state your full name for me.
Brittany Ann Clark. I just need a police escort. Now he's hushing me.
Ms. Clark, you've been charged with 2 offenses. Your first offense includes obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Your bond amount is $1,500. The second offense is disorderly conduct. Your bond amount is $1,500. Therefore, your total bond amount is $3,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes.
Okay. Can you make bond? Do you know if you can make bond, Ms. Clark?
I don't know.
Okay.
Is there any way we can just do the do a signature bond and so I can get out and work?
No, unfortunately, only the chief judge can approve of signature bonds. However, I have granted bond for you. If you are able to make bond, then there will be special conditions included on your bond order. The first condition is that you're not to return to the incident location, which is 5128 Jonesboro Road, Lake City, Georgia 30260. You understand that will be a special condition on your bond order?
I don't even know where that is. I asked the police to escort me to my
As I
grandma's.
indicated, let me speak. As I indicated,
You're
that's
making up charges.
okay, please be silent, ma'am. As I indicated, that's the incident location. Secondly, I've scheduled your.
Listen to the judge.
That's making up charges. They're
Not
making
making up charges, man.
I called them.
Okay. Listen, please be silent, ma'am. I'm trying to give you your hearing date. Your next court date is going to be January the 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Do you understand that's your next court date, ma'am? Okay. Lastly, I see you did not complete a request for a court-appointed attorney. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions to see if you qualify for one? Ms. Clark? I only need to know if you're employed or not.
Do you work?
Yes, no. This doesn't make any sense. I don't understand.
Ma'am, just answer the question, ma'am.
A police escort is somebody that
Okay,
if I'm
excuse
there,
me,
will
ma'am.
walk with
Excuse me, listen to the question. Do you have a job? Is that a yes or a no, ma'am, Ms. Clark?
Yes.
Okay. And what are your monthly wages? Do you know?
1,500.
Okay. So you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I will go ahead and approve an attorney for you. So that will conclude your first appearance hearing for today. Thank you.
You can have a seat, ma'am. Next person. State your name, first and last name for the judge, please.
Karen, Big Tree, Leon Enriquez.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you with the feedback.
Karen De Leon Enriquez.
Okay. You've been charged with 3 offenses. The first offense is following too close. Your bond amount is $500. The second offense is distracted driving. Your bond amount is $500. The third offense is hit and run. The bond amount is $3,000. Therefore, your total bond amount is $4,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes.
Can you make bond?
Yes.
Okay. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for January the 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the calendar?
Keep it on the calendar.
Okay.
Thank you.
One more, I need to go over your court appointed form. Ms. DeLeon? Okay. Based upon your application, you do qualify for a court appointed attorney, so I will approve an attorney to represent you. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next person, step up. First and last name for the.
Good morning, Your Honor. Satori David.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Did you say Denson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Denson, you've been charged with one count of criminal damage to property. Your bond amount is $2,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor, I do.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Secondly, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for January the 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that's your next court date?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
And you also completed a request for court-appointed counsel. Based on your application, you do not qualify for a court-appointed counsel, therefore you will have to hire your own attorney. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Okay, any questions?
No, Your Honor, I do not have any questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, wake up. No, I'm telling you. Wake up. Come on for the judge. State your first name and last name for the judge. Loud, please.
My name is Bernie Greenwich.
Did you say Greenwich?
Yes,
Spell
ma'am.
that for me.
GRINAGE.
Okay. Ms. Greenwich, you've been charged with one count of theft by taking. Your bond amount is $3,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Secondly, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for January the 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that's your next court date?
Yes, ma'am.
And then based on your application, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I will appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Thank you.
Faith Marriott.
Ms. Marriott? Okay. Ms. Marriott, you've been charged with 4 offenses. The first offense is failing to yield. The bond amount is $500. The second offense is traveling on a restricted highway in violation of Georgia law. The bond amount is $500. The third offense, red light violation. The bond amount is $500. The last offense, driving on a suspended or revoked license. The bond amount is $1,500. Therefore, your total bond is $3,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes, I do.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for January the 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. You understand that's your next court date?
Yes, ma'am.
You like to waive it or keep it on the calendar?
Keep it on the calendar.
That's
And did you complete a request for court-appointed counsel?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Okay, based upon your application, you will qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I will approve one. Do you have any questions?
No, I do not.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next person. Next person in line. Okay, I'm sorry, I wasn't even.
Please state your full name for me.
Taylor Danielle Moses.
Ms. Moses, you've been charged with 1 count of battery. Aggravated battery, your bond amount is $5,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for January the 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that that's your next court date?
Ma'am.
And then did you complete a request for court-appointed counsel?
No, ma'am, I do not need a court-appointed attorney.
Okay, are you sure?
I have an attorney. I've
Okay.
already been in contact with him regarding this.
Okay, can you give me his name so I can put it on your form? Do you
Yes.
remember?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I use him all the time. His name is Benjamin Monzingo. He's with Henry and Hendricks Law.
Can you spell his last name for me?
Monzingo, M as in Mary, O-N as in Nancy, Z as in zebra, I-G-O.
Mhm. Well, I appreciate that information. Thank you so much. Do you have any questions, Ms. Moses?
No, ma'am, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, one question. I'm sorry, Your Honor. You said it was aggravated battery?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Like that. Next person.
Okay, state your full name for me.
Aisha Bernice Robinson.
Ms. Robinson. Ms. Robinson, you have been charged with 2 offenses. The first offense is battery family violence. Your bond amount is $5,000. The second offense is criminal trespass, damage to property. Your bond amount is $2,000. Therefore, your total bond amount is $7,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount? Can you make bond?
Yes.
Okay. If you can make bond, there would be special conditions included on your bond order. The first condition is you're to have no contact with the alleged victim in the case, Jerron Moore. Let's see here. Do you recognize that name?
Yes, that's my child's father.
Okay. So no contact means you must stay away, absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by telephone, by social media, by text message. You cannot contact the individual through a third party, and you cannot go to their home and workplace. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then the 384, the incident location is listed as 384 Morton Drive, Jonesboro, Georgia, 30238. Is that your primary residence?
Not anymore, but it wasn't there.
Okay, well, that's what they have as the, let me see, let me make sure here. I'm sorry, the incident location, is that the 1915 Flat Shoals Road, Riverdale, Georgia? Is that your primary
It was
residence?
at the park. It was at the park. It happened at the park.
Okay, well, they have that as your incident location. Is that your primary residence?
No, that was at the park.
Okay, well, generally for family violence, you'll be prohibited. So you said it happened at the park?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I have that as the incident location. Do you have any question? Oh, do you have any questions about the conditions on your bond? Okay, secondly, go ahead.
Never mind. I'm sorry.
Okay, secondly, your bond, your preliminary hearing is scheduled for January the 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that's your next court date?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you complete a request for court-appointed counsel?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me locate your court-appointed form here. So based upon your responses on your application, you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I will appoint an attorney to represent you. Thank you.
Person.
Okay, state your full name for me.
Miracle Smith.
I don't believe I have any, I just noticed I don't have any first appearance paperwork for you, Mrs. Smith. Let me see what happened. Okay, wait, no, never, that's it, never mind.
Okay,
Ms. Smith, you've been charged with one offense of aggravated assault. Your bond amount is $20,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
If you can make bond, there will be a special condition included on your bond order. The first condition is you're to have no contact with an individual by the name, is it Erica Randall? Do you recognize that name?
Yes, ma'am.
Because that's the alleged victim indication must stay away, absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by text message, by social media, by telephone. You cannot contact that individual through a third person. You cannot contact them at their home or workplace. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You also cannot violate any laws while out on bond. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for January the 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. You understand that's your next court date?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and did you complete a request for a court-appointed attorney? Do you recall completing the application?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, based upon your application, you would qualify for.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would qualify for one, so I'm gonna go ahead and appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, Karen Stokey.
Spell that for me.
Stoeckig.
Okay, I have you here. You've been charged with one count burglary, residential. The bond amount is $25,000. Do you understand the charge as well as the bond amount?
I understand the charges, but it
Okay.
wasn't.
Okay, you understand your bond amount is 25,000? Okay. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for January 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that's your next court date?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and did you complete a request for court-appointed counsel?
Yeah,
And you indicate you were unsure if you were unemployed?
well, I don't know if I'm gonna still have a job by the time I get out of here.
Okay. Well, what were you making at your current job?
1,200 a week.
Okay. Due to the amount of your bond, I'm not certain, like you said, if you're gonna bond, so I'll go ahead and appoint an attorney to represent you. Okay?
All right.
Questions?
520 and shit like that.
Next one.
Thank you.
Next person.
Hi,
Good morning. Can I get your full name?
it's Neosha Tisdale.
Tisdale, Miss Tisdale. Ms. Tisdale, you've been charged with 2 offenses. The first offense is criminal trespass. Your bond amount is $1,500. The second offense is loitering or prowling. Your bail amount is $1,000. Therefore, your total bond amount is $2,500. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes.
Can you make bond?
I think so. If I can't, how long would I have to be in here?
Well, it's when you can make bond. Well, your next court date will be your preliminary hearing scheduled for January 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that's your next court date?
Yes.
Okay. And did you complete a request for court appointed attorney?
No,
Okay.
no.
Why not? You don't need an attorney?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, let's see here. I have to pull your form. Since you didn't complete one. Are you currently employed?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me what your monthly wages is.
Who my mother weighs to?
Your monthly wages.
I make about like $500.
A month? A
Yeah,
month? Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so you will qualify for a court appointed attorney, so I will appoint an attorney to represent you, okay?
Okay.
Okay, any other questions?
No.
Yeah, we'll get her to sign when you're
Thank you,
on.
Ms. I'm sorry, what'd you say, Deputy?
Her to sign the CAA form.
Yes, did she sign it?
I don't think so. We had a hard time locating her, so I think they had already sent them over, but we can get one over, get her signed.
Yeah, I would appreciate that. That would be helpful.
Ma'am. Okay. Let
Okay,
me see.
thank you. Okay, we ready for, we can go ahead and process the next individual.
She was the last one, yeah.
Okay, she was the last one, okay. So then we can move on to the males, but do you guys want to do the juvenile first?
Yes, Your Honor.
Hey, Your Honor,
Yes,
Sergeant Burley said we did send one for Tisdale. He said
Okay.
it was fax, TASDALE. It should have been sent with the rest of them.
okay, I'll look for it when I go off the record.
Yes, ma'am, and just let us know if we need to resubmit one.
Okay.
Uh-huh. So that completes everybody for the female.
Okay.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Okay, I think we're gonna do the males next, Deputy.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, go ahead. You can present the first one. You can give me your name, sir.
Anthony Thomas Carr.
Mr. Carr, okay. Give me 1 minute.
I'm talking.
Hey, Judge.
Hello, sir. How you doing?
All right, Judge. Hey, we have the juvenile. Can we do him first? He's the first on the list, anyway.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was gonna take the juvenile first if that's gonna be helpful.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
Jeremiah Bomber Simmons.
Okay, I need for you to turn the device on so I can
okay.
you turn your camera on? Okay, if you can leave it on, Deputy?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Please state your full name for me, sir.
Jeremiah Bomber Simmons.
Okay, sir, you've been charged with 1 count of armed robbery, a 2nd count of possession of a firearm during a crime. There's a 3rd violation, a weapon, a possession of a handgun by a person that's under 18. So according to the warrant, I do have 3 separate charges for you. But unfortunately, because of the nature of the armed robbery charge, I'm not authorized to set bail for you today. Only a Superior Court judge can do that. So it's a no bond. You understand that, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Also, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for January the 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that's your next court date?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and then thirdly, your bond hearing is going to be scheduled for February the 3rd, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that?
Yes, Your
Your
Honor.
bond hearing? Okay, and deputies, did you have him complete a request? I didn't have a request for court appointed counsel.
He can't complete the request due to him being underage.
Okay. So that will conclude your first appearance hearing for this morning. Do you have any questions? Mr. Barner Simmons?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. So I believe we're ready for the first mail.
Yes, Your Honor.
Carr, that's him, correct?
Oh,
So who's present?
Anthony Carr.
Okay, Mr. Carr. You've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. Your bond amount is $1,500. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you can make bond, there will be special conditions included on the bond order. There, you're not to return to the incident location identified at 4842 Summerson Drive, Clayton County, Georgia. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Also, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for January the 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing? Or keep it on the calendar?
You're going to count.
Okay. Did you say you can make bond, sir?
I will try. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did you complete a request for court appointed counsel?
Yes, I didn't finish it, but yes, ma'am.
You didn't finish it? Okay. I do have enough information to approve it. So you, because you would qualify. So I'll go ahead and approve that request. Do you have any questions? Any questions, sir?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
State your name. State your name. Lawrence Hill.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that, sir.
Lawrence Hill.
Hill, Mr. Hill, okay. Mr. Hill, you've been charged with 2 offenses. The first offense is battery. Your bond amount is $4,000. The second offense is cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Your bond amount is $3,000. Therefore, your total bond amount is $7,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes.
Okay, can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Can, okay. If you get made bond, there will be special conditions included on the bond order. The first condition is that you're to have no contact with the alleged victim in the case. I believe it's Jamila Carty. Do you recognize that name?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because that's the alleged victim in the case. It's a no contact, which means you must stay away absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by telephone, by social media, by text message. You also cannot contact that individual through a 3rd party. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Also, the incident location appears to be at this 4730 Stillwood Cove, Forest Park, Georgia 30297. You're not to return to that location while you're out on bond. Is that your primary residence?
Yes, ma'am. I am the one that paid the rent there.
Okay, well, because does the alleged victim also reside there? Ms.
She's
Clark?
supposed to be gone. Her mom said that she was supposed to be gone. When the incident happened yesterday, her mom said that she's supposed to be gone.
Okay, well, I'm gonna include it on your bond order. And just because it's a family violence, so I have to prohibit you from turning to that location if she's still there. If she's not there, then you can petition the court for reconsideration, okay? Secondly, since that is your primary residence, then I will allow you to retrieve any undisputed personal property at that location. However, you must make an appointment with the sheriff office within 10 days of your release to retrieve any undisputed personal property. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for January 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Would you like to waive it or keep it on the court's calendar?
Keep it on the calendar.
Okay, great. And do you know if you completed a request for court-appointed counsel?
I think I did, but I know I probably need one.
Okay. Let me see if I can locate your form here. Okay. Mr. Hill, it does appear you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I will appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Patrick James.
Mr. James, you've been charged, state your full name for me.
Patrick James.
Okay, Mr. James, you've been charged with 1 offense of simple battery. Your bond amount is $3,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Secondly, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for January 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the calendar?
Keep it on the calendar, ma'am.
And then I see you did complete a request for court-appointed counsel. Your application here, based on your responses, you would qualify. So I will approve that. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. And real quick, deputies, I think we've completed the females. Is that correct? Let me check the list real quick to make sure we got
Yes,
everyone.
ma'am.
because
The
they're-
females are complete. And Your Honor, do you mind confirming the bond amount again for Robinson? She thinks it's 7,000 before we take them back.
Yeah, let me pull the paperwork real quick.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And just let us know if you don't find the paperwork for Tisdale, and we can try to get that taken care of for you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Robinson, is $5,000 for the battery, 2,000 for the criminal trespass. So yes, the total is 7,000.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Did you hear that, Miss? Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
And let me just make sure we have all of the females here. Okay, so yeah, look like that will conclude the females for today. So they can't return to their unit. Someone sent me a message in the chat.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, please state your full name for me, sir.
Jason Lewis.
Okay, you said Mr. Lewis? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
1 minute, let me pull your paperwork here. And then for the record, I believe you're represented by counsel. Is that correct? Is he represented, you're represented by counsel, correct?
Yes.
I believe her, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
No, I'm asking the attorney. I believe this is your attorney on the Zoom.
Yes.
Okay, if she could. I just want to acknowledge your presence, ma'am.
Judge, I'm here on Kivian Lewis.
Okay. I thought he told me his name was Lewis. This is not Lewis?
Yes, keep you on Lewis.
Oh,
That's
I'm
him.
sorry. I heard it. Yes, I'm here on behalf of Lewis.
Yeah, that's what I thought he said it was Lewis, Kevin Lewis. This is your client, correct?
Correct. No, I represent Mr. Lewis. Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Okay, I was just I just wanted to acknowledge you for the record.
Thank you, Judge. I'm here on Mr. Lewis's behalf if you'd like to hear a brief argument in favor of bond.
No, it's not necessary. If you want to just state your full name for the record.
Julie Kurt.
Okay, Ms. Kurt, thank you. So your client has been charged with 2 offenses. The first offense is theft by receiving stolen property. The bond amount is $3,000. And then the second charge is vehicle or it says removal or falsification of a motor vehicle. The bond amount for that is $3,000. Therefore, the total bond amount is $6,000. Do you understand the charge as well as the bond amount, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Secondly, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for January the 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. You understand that's your next court date?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Judge, will that preliminary hearing take place even if you post bond?
No, if he posts bond, it's automatically waived.
Very good.
Well, no, it's a felony. I'm sorry, he's been charged with a felony. So let me see here. These are both of those are felonies. But yeah, if my understanding though, is that correct, Miss Mary? If he posts bond, is it waived, the preliminary hearing?
Yes, even if it's a felony, if he posts bond.
So it is waived.
Yes.
And then he did not complete the request for court-appointed counsel, so I'll go ahead and put that he is hired his own attorney. Do you have any questions? Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Attorney Kirk?
We
Okay.
filed an entry this morning, so that should hopefully make it way to his file very shortly.
Okay, I'm sorry, what did you file?
We filed an entry of appearance.
Yes, we have it. Okay.
Oh,
Thank
okay, very
you.
good.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. That concludes my business.
Yes.
Thank you.
Ma'am.
Good afternoon. State your full name for me.
Man.
Okay, you said that. Okay. Manley. See if I can find you. So you've been charged with 2 offenses. The first offense is battery, family violence. And then the second offense is cruelty to children in the 1st degree. Your bond amount for the battery, family violence is $6,000. And then your bond amount for the cruelty to children in the 1st degree, the bond amount is $5,000. Therefore, your total bond amount is $11,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and can you make bond?
I trust.
Okay. If you can make bond, there will be special conditions included on the bond order. The first condition is you to have no contact with the alleged victim in the case by the name of Kamaya Manley. Do you recognize that name?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is that your,
Daughter.
who's that to you?
Daughter.
Your daughter?
Yes.
Okay. Because she's the alleged victim in the case, there's a no contact, which means you must stay away, absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by telephone. You cannot contact her through social media or text message, and you must stay away from her home and workplace. You understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Then also, I have the incident location at 5798 Eagles, Feather Lane, Riverdale, Georgia, 30274. Is that your primary residence?
No, ma'am.
Okay, who lives there?
That was my
I'm sorry.
mother, my children stayed out there.
Okay, is that where Kamaya stays as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so because the incident occurred there, I'm going to prohibit you from returning to that location. Understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Your Honor, does that include Mr. Manley?
No, I still need to go over his court-appointed form real quickly here. You did complete a request for court-appointed counsel. Based on your responses, you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I will appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, thank you. That will conclude his first appearance now.
Benjamin. Malachi Mason.
Okay, Deputy, if you could pull the camera down so we can see his face.
Oh, you know what? He is coming tall. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Okay. I'm sorry, sir. Give me your full name.
Malachi Mason?
Okay, Mr. Mason. You've been charged with one offense of simple battery. Your bond amount is $3,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Secondly, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for January 31st, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that's your next court date?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you complete a request for court-appointed counsel?
Yes, I did.
Yes, I see it right here. Okay, you, based on your application, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I will approve an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, state your full name for me.
Albert Mayhew.
I'm sorry, I had trouble hearing you.
Albert Mayhew.
Okay, maybe, okay. Yeah, 1 minute, I have your file. Thank you. Sir, you've been charged with 2 offenses. The first offense is burglary. Your bond amount is $25,000. The second offense is possession of a firearm or weapon doing a crime. The bond amount is $10,000. Therefore, your total bond amount is $35,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you know if you can make bond?
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
Your Honor, did you say 35,000 or 3,500?
35,000. 25,000 for the burglary charge and 10,000 for the possession.
Gotcha.
Your preliminary hearing is scheduled for January 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that's your next court date, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Will I
Okay.
get a notice?
Yeah, you'll get a notice. And then through your attorney too, looks like you qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I will appoint an attorney to represent you on those charges. Do you have any other questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
DeMarcus McMullen.
I'm sorry, I had trouble hearing you, sir.
DeMarcus McMullen.
McMullen, okay, thank you. Spell your last name for me, sir.
MCMULLEN.
Okay, I see it. DeMarcus, okay. Deputies, I just realized I was not provided with any warrants for Mr. McMullen, so I'll need those warrants before I can do his first appearance.
So you need warrants, Your Honor?
Yes, I don't have any warrants for McMullen.
Who would have needed to provide those? Would that be on our end or someone else's end?
I'm sorry, what was your question?
Would that be on our end or someone else's end, Your Honor?
Well,
I'll call classification. Don't worry about it. Did you hear me?
yeah, so we'll need to hold him until we can do his first appearance. I just need the warrants.
Okay.
And I'm not, Ms. Mary, also, I don't think I was provided with his criminal history either.
Okay.
So I'll need both.
All right.
I thought he had already been done because I don't have it. Okay.
John Mitchell, Your Honor.
State your full name for me.
John Mitchell.
Again, sir.
John Mitchell.
Mitchell?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Mitchell, you've been charged with one offense of family violence. See here. And unfortunately, because you was previously convicted of a family violence charge on or about June 7 of 2018, and you also received a 5-year probation for that family violence, and this second offense involves of family violence, I'm not authorized to set bail for you today. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so your charge will actually be upgraded to a felony because of the prior conviction of the family violence. And so your next court date will be January the 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and let's see here. Your bond hearing is going to be scheduled for February the 3rd, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. You understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
In here. And then you did complete a request for court-appointed counsel. Based on your application, you will qualify, so I will appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Okay. State your full name for me, sir. I didn't hear you.
Oh, first name is Saeed, last name Hamid.
You said, I didn't hear it again. Spell it for me.
Yeah,
I'm not hearing you, sir. If you could just speak slowly for me.
the SAID.
Okay. Okay, you said I just have is it Shabazz?
Are you talking about my last name?
Yeah, it's your last name.
Oh, Muhammad.
Oh, Muhammad. Okay. I was like, I don't have that. Okay, thank you. Okay, and then first name is SAID. Is that correct? Okay, thank you. You've been charged with one offense of robbery by sudden snatching. Your bond amount is $4,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
I got a call.
Okay. And did you complete it? Let's see. And then secondly, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for January the 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that's your next court date, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then let's see here. You did complete a request for court-appointed counsel. You put your employer, but you didn't put how much? Can you give me an average of your monthly wages?
I said like 2,000.
Okay, 2,000. Okay. Okay, so you would qualify, so I will approve an attorney for you, sir. Any questions? Okay, thank you. Okay, state your full name for me, sir.
Martin Lee Price.
Price. You say last name is Price?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, 1 minute, let me pull your file. Okay, Mr. Price, your first name is Walter, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You've been charged with one offense of theft by receiving stolen property. Your bond amount is $3,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes.
Can you make bond? You're not sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, that's right.
Secondly, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for January the 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that's your next court date, sir?
Yes.
And then based on your application for court-appointed counsel, you will qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I will approve that. Any questions? Thank you, sir.
Raphael J. Rivera.
Can you spell that for me, sir?
Rafael.
Okay. And last name?
Rivera.
Okay, thank you. You've been charged with 3 offenses. The first offense is robbery by sudden snatching. Your bond amount is $4,000. The second offense is simple battery. Your bond amount is $3,000. And then the third offense is public drunkenness, and your bond amount is $4,000. Therefore, your total bond amount is $8,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes.
Okay, can you make bond?
I don't think so.
Okay, no problem. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for January the 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that's your next court date, sir?
Yes.
And then you did complete a request for court-appointed counsel. Based on your application, you would apply or you will qualify. So I will approve that request. Do you have any questions?
I guess I do. When you say the bond amount and I can't make it, what can I do? What should I do?
Well, you can talk to your court-appointed attorney about making arrangements for bond.
Okay.
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 Okay. Thank you. Okay, give me your full name, sir.
Anthony Robinson.
Okay, Mr. Robinson, 1 minute. Okay, Mr. Robinson, you've been charged with 1 count of harassing phone calls. Your bond amount is $2,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you can make bond, there will be a special condition included on your bond order, which means there's a no contact against the alleged victim, Belinda Carr. So that means you must stay away, absolutely, directly, indirectly. You cannot send her mail, email her, page her, send text messages, cannot contact her by telephone, cannot contact her through a third person, or go to her home or workplace. You understand that?
Yes, I'm also have a pending litigation against Ms. Carr in the Lovejoy Station Homeowners Association.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are you represented by counsel in that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Well, through your legal documents only. You understand that?
I can. Will I be able to?
Through your legal proceeding.
With her attorney?
Personally, I mean, personally, you can't contact her personally with harassing calls. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to be able to talk to her lawyer.
Okay, yes, you can talk to her lawyer.
Yes.
I said her, not her lawyer.
Yeah. Now I'm going to talk to her lawyer, but not her.
Yeah. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for January the 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that's your next court date, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
And then let's see here, you did complete a request for court-appointed counsel. Let's see here. You said that you're currently retired, is that correct? Or you currently don't have a job?
I'm
Correct?
retired. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I will approve an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. If you could state your full name for me, sir.
Dustin Shakti.
So you've been charged with 2 offenses. The first offense is public drunk. The bond amount is $1,000. The second offense is obstruction of a law enforcement officer. The bond amount is $1,500. Therefore, your total bond is $2,500. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you make bond?
Yeah, I'm just curious, is it 10% or 15?
Well, in my opening statement, I said 15% of the total bond. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for January the 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing, sir, or keep it on the calendar?
Keep it on the calendar.
Okay,
I'll be able to do it soon, right?
okay, and then based on your application for court-appointed counsel, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I will appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, I could do a Zoom meeting for court, right? I don't do this.
So your preliminary hearing is via Zoom.
What's
Okay,
that?
the preliminary hearing is conducted via Zoom. Okay,
Conducted what? I'm sorry, conducted what?
via Zoom.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
You're right for that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, your name, sir? I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I didn't hear you, sir. Your name?
Oh, Shabazz.
Shabazz, okay. Spell that for me.
Last name, Shabazz.
Yeah, spell it.
SHABA.
Okay. So you've been charged with 1 count of simple battery. Your bond amount is $3,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount? You say yes?
No, we say.
You've been charged with 1 count of simple battery. And your bond amount is $3,000. You understand the charge as well as your bond amount? Okay.
Yes.
Can you make bond?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for January the 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. Would you like to waive the preliminary hearing or keep it on the calendar?
Put on the calendar.
Okay, no problem. Also, you did complete your court-appointed form. Based on your application, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney, sir, so I will appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you have any other questions? Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, state your full name for me.
Brandon Charles Short.
Sir, you've been charged with 1 offense, giving inmates guns, drugs, or alcohol, or other prohibited items. Your bond amount is $3,500. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay.
I got a
Secondly,
question,
I'm sorry, what was your question?
ma'am.
I said, did you have a question, sir?
Yes, ma'am. I want to know that felony or misdemeanor.
Okay, that will be considered a felony, sir.
Okay.
Okay, so your bond, your preliminary here is going to be scheduled for January the 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you refuse to complete your court-appointed application. Do you not need an attorney?
I don't know.
Okay, well, it's best to have one in place. And then if you don't need it, then they can always withdraw. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so you mind if I ask you a few questions to see if you qualify?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Are you currently employed?
No, ma'am.
So based on your response, sir, you will qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I will appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
Could you charge again?
I'm sorry, what was your question?
Say, can you repeat my charge?
Yes. This is giving inmate gun, drugs, alcohol, or other prohibited items under OCGA 425-18. Prohibited items. It says items prohibited in your possession, sir, specifically an iPhone. Any other questions, sir?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
I know that.
Okay, state your full name for me, sir.
James Truitt.
Mr. Pruitt. Okay, let me locate your paperwork here. Mr. Truitt, you've been charged with 5 offenses. First offense is having an expired or invalid tag. Your bond amount is $500. The second offense is driving without insurance. Your bond amount is $1,000. The third offense is driving on a suspended or revoked license. Your bond amount is $1,500. The fourth offense is driving with an expired or no license plate. Your bond amount is $1,500. And then the last charge of driving with a suspended or revoked license, your bond amount is $1,500. Therefore, your total bond amount is $6,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, yeah, I have a question. So two of those charges sound like the same thing.
Yes, let me see here. They have different warrant numbers. So it looks like they've charged you with driving while license is suspended. And then there's your license was suspended. And then let's see here, the second charge, let me see what the 5-4 is. 5-4 charge. They have it down as driving, okay, driving on a suspended and revoked license as well. So they do have 2 charges. I'm not certain why they have a separate count for that. But your bond amount is the $6,000. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for January the 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that's your next court date?
Yes.
Okay, would you like to waive it or keep it on the court's calendar?
Keep it on the calendar.
Okay. And then I'll let me see if I can confirm with Ms. Mary. Ms. Mary, do you have a separate charge in the CPUA for Mr. Truitt? I have it as warrant number 2023 WA01454.
Hold on, let me look.
Okay, 1 minute, Mr. Truitt.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, I have the expired tag, which ends in 4-9,
Okay,
the no insurance, which ends in 5-1,
okay.
suspended license, which ends in 5-2, expired no plates, 5-3.
Okay.
But I've got 2 suspended license charge ending 5-4.
Oh, you got 2 ended in 5-4?
I got another one for licensed driving, suspended license ending in 5-4.
Okay. Does that appear to be duplicate charges or do you can't tell?
It looks duplicate.
Okay. So let me do this.
It's the same as 2023 WA 01452. And then it's again 2023 WA 01454.
Okay. So I'm going to deny that one then if it looks like it's a duplicate.
It does.
So let me your bond. So your bond amount then will be 4,500. Okay, sir. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. And then did you complete a request for court appointed counsel?
Yes, ma'am.
For Mr. Truitt, you do qualify for a court appointed attorney, so I will appoint an attorney to represent you at your preliminary hearing that's scheduled for the January 31st. Do you have any questions?
January 31st.
Okay, thank you.
You have an add-on of Matthew Thurman?
No, I did. I see his, I didn't get any warrants for him or criminal history.
He's not on my list. I'm not sure how he got down here, why he's down here. I didn't know if you had him as an add-on, so I'm sure.
I was gonna ask you about him because he's not on the jail list.
I'm jealous out of this. Tomorrow.
But it was a order that he's on the calendar. Miss Mary, can you see if he's bonded out?
What's the name?
The name
Matthew
is,
Thurman. Oh, sorry, my bad.
no, go ahead. Did you have more information than me?
Matthew Thurman.
All right, hold on. Do you have an LE number?
216-4216.
It's not showing that he's out the bond, Judge.
Okay, so can you contact clarification, tell him we need the criminal history and warrants for Mr. Thurman?
Yes, hold on. Okay.
Because he's not on the list, but I did have an order for him. The charge supposed to be criminal damage in the 2nd degree. So I need the warrant for that and the criminal history. Okay, next individual. Is that your full name for me, sir?
Marguerite.
Mr. Williams. See here, you've been charged with 3 offenses. The first offense is affixing a license plate with intent to conceal or misrepresent. The second offense is obstruction or hindering a law enforcement officer. And the third offense is knowingly driving a motor vehicle on a council registration. Your bond amount for the obstruction charge is $3,000. The bond amount for the council license plate is $1,500. And then the bond amount for the council registration is $1,500. Therefore, your total bond amount is $6,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Secondly, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for January the 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. You understand that's your next court date, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you refuse to complete your court-appointed application. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions right now to see if you qualify for one, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
Let's see here. Are you currently employed? Do you have a job?
Yes, ma'am.
And what are your monthly wages?
Around like about 2,000.
Okay, based on your response, so you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I will appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
I was gonna say that bond was 6,000 again.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. No, I don't have any questions.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
State your full name for me, sir.
Zabar Wilson.
Hey, Mr. Wilson, you've been charged with one offense of driving on a suspended or revoked license. Your bond amount is $1,500. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, I do.
Okay, can you make bond?
Yes.
Okay. Secondly, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for January the 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the calendar?
Keep on the calendar.
Okay. Also, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney based on your application, so I will approve that. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Okay. That's your full name for me, sir?
Zabar Zachary.
Hey, Mrs. Zachary, you've been charged with one count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act and being in possession of marijuana more than an ounce and possession of a firearm or a weapon during a crime. Your bond amount for the violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act is $5,000, and then your bond amount for possession of a firearm weapon is $10,000. Therefore, your total bond amount is $15,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for January the 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. You understand that's your next court date?
Yes, ma'am.
And based on your court-appointed counsel form you completed, you will qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I will approve an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions? Okay, thank you, sir.
Your Honor, I only have Mr. McMullen and Mr. Thurman left.
Okay, so let me go off the record here and review